So, after you finish your heel, you start the foot, which is also not difficult at all. Basically, you just keep knitting the same way you've been knitting the whole time, only without decreases. That means the first and fourth yarn needle. As you can see, you keep knitting the pattern, so everything is knit stitches. You knit the second and third needles in our slipped stitch pattern with our 4-row repeat. Keep doing this until you've reached your desired height. I'm knitting mine approximately in the size 38-39. That means I'll, from our heel edge on, knit forward, measured about 13 centimeters. Before I start the toe, you can roughly estimate about 1 centimeter larger for every 2 shoe sizes. So for example, size 40, I knit 14 centimeters. Another tip, even if you knit the socks for yourselves or for someone in your household, you can also just have him try on the sock, and when the little toe is pretty much covered, you've got the perfect height to start with the toe. I wish. Have fun with it, and we'll all see each other at the toe. Your sock should now look roughly like this, on top your pattern, and below knitted in stockinette stitch. If you're the required, or once you've reached the desired height, you can start the toe. It's really quite easy, and works up fairly evenly. You knit off all the stitches knitwise again. Now, that means no more slip stitch pattern and, as I said, knits all stitches knitwise except for the last 2 stitches of the first needle. You knit them together. It works the same, except like with the heel, you don't insert into the first stitch, but into the second. Push through both stitches and knit them as a knit stitch. Now do the same here with the second needle. That's basically our straight needle on the first 2 stitches. Again, don't insert into the first stitch, but into the second. Pick up for the calf and knit all stitches on the remaining needle. I finished again with a 4th round. I would always recommend as a tip. And I also always really like it when you then kind of start a new section of the sock with a new color. Then it's also easier to knit both socks exactly the same. You knit the last 2 stitches together again, using the 3rd needle as the odd-numbered needle. The last 2 stitches and your 4th needle as a straight needle. Again, the first 2 stitches. In the next round, knit all stitches as they appear, that is, knit all stitches without decreasing. You switch that, you pretty much always take turns there. Knit 1 round of decreases and 1 round of all knit stitches. I'll show you again how the principle works. So, you pretty much always knit your stitches together here at the ends, so your sock then goes up toward the toe nicely and evenly. That means on the even stitches, so the even needles, the second and the 4th, you knit the first 2 stitches together. And on the odd needles, the 1st and the 3rd, you knit the last 2 stitches together, so you pretty much always knit a nice toe. These decrease rounds, so always 1 decrease round, 1 round, knit all stitches, now knit for each size until you have only 6 stitches left on the needle. So, your toe should look like this now. You still have 6 stitches on each needle. Now you just do a decrease round every round until you have only 3 stitches on each needle. You still have 3 stitches on each needle, and now start decreasing those stitches. That means you always go into the first needle here with a yarn needle. You've cut the yarn, leave enough to weave in. From bottom to top through the stitch, pull the yarn through and slip the stitch off the needle. I'll show it again. Insert here from below, push up through, pull the yarn through the stitch, sew the stitch off the needle. Now do that with all the stitches. Watch out. Really, go needle by needle, so you don't twist yourselves at the end. This isn't really the kind of thing you're likely to do by accident, and decrease 1 stitch at a time. So, when you're finished, there's still a little hole here. Now you turn your sock over, push the needle through this little hole. Pull the yarn tight, then the little hole at the front will disappear too. And now you just have to weave in the end of the yarn. Just insert, pull through about 6 to 8 times, then it'll hold well. The wool is machine washable at 40 degrees. Personally, I always wash all my socks on the wool cycle at 30 degrees. That way, they then really last a long time and stay nice. When you've sewn your work, you can cut the yarn. Of course, up here do the same, and sew in as well. But otherwise, you're done for now. The second sock works exactly the same. Of course, I'll show you the finished one again. Like I said, I especially like the pattern, even on gradient socks, because it tends to emphasize the color gradient. So, here's my sock. If you liked my video, I'd appreciate a free subscription. That way, you won't miss any of my new videos either. Until then, I wish you lots of fun knitting.